Hey everyone, my name is Emma and I'm with the University Vault program. Today we will be focusing on comma splices and run-on sentences. Let's start with comma splices. When two independent statements are joined only by a comma, it is called a comma splice. Comma splices happen with run-on sentences and often are what creates a run-on sentence. How to fix a comma splice. Here's an example of an incorrect sentence. Fanning the slice of pizza with a napkin, Jolene waited for it to cool. She had already burned the roof of her mouth with the fried cheese sticks. This sentence has a comma splice in it. These are two individual complete thoughts. Now how do we fix this comma splice? There are four basic ways to change it. We can insert either a period, a coordinating conjunction, a semicolon, or a subordinate conjunction. We review each one of these processes so that they make more sense. Using a period to fix a comma splice is simple. Simply take the comma splice and separate it into two sentences. Our sentence now reads, Fanning the slice of pizza with a napkin, Jolene waited for it to cool. She had already burned the roof of her mouth with the fried cheese sticks. These are now two individual sentences that each contain a subject, a verb, and a complete thought. Using a coordinating conjunction. Coordinating conjunctions are words that are used to link phrases or what would be separate sentences together. The most common coordinating conjunctions are and, for, nor, yet, or, so, and but. Our sentence now reads, Fanning the slice of pizza with a napkin, Jolene waited for it to cool, for she had already burned the roof of her mouth with the fried cheese sticks. By using a coordinating conjunction, we have now connected the two individual thoughts into one proper sentence. Using a semicolon. Semicolons are used in a similar way to periods. The difference is that semicolons can be used when the individual thoughts or phrases are related in some way. Periods indicate a separate thought. Our sentence reads, Fanning the slice of pizza with a napkin, Jolene waited for it to cool. She had already burned the roof of her mouth with the fried cheese sticks. This does not sound much different than using a period. This is because of the similarities between semicolons and periods. Using a subordinate conjunction. Subordinate conjunctions are used to turn a sentence that has two independent thoughts into a sentence that has an independent thought followed by a dependent thought. Common subordinate conjunctions include since, because, after, one, where, until, unless, as, etc. So our sentence now reads, Fanning the slice of pizza with a napkin, Jolene waited for it to cool, since she had already burned the roof of her mouth with the fried cheese sticks. Adding the subordinate conjunction since makes this a complete and proper sentence. Next we move on to run-on sentences. A run-on or fused sentence is a sentence that has two main thoughts with no punctuation. Run-on sentences include at least two independent statements or ideas. They are missing words or punctuation to transition the independent ideas. Run-on sentences have nothing to do with the length of the sentence. How to fix a run-on or fused sentence. Fixing run-on or fused sentences uses the same type of process as fixing comma splices. There are four different ways that it can be done. Using periods, semicolons, coordinating conjunctions, or subordinate conjunctions. We will explore each one individually. Here's our example. Driving home from school, Brett vowed to protect the fragile ecosystem all the while the tires of his Cadillac Escalade flattened the toads hopping on the wet streets. This is a run-on sentence. There are two thoughts that are not separated in any way. Using a period to fix a run-on sentence. When you add in a period, the sentence now reads, Driving home from school, Brett vowed to protect the fragile ecosystem. All the while, the tires of his Cadillac Escalade flattened the toads hopping on the wet streets. This separates the run-on into two separate sentences and adds a comma. These changes create a proper sentence. Using a coordinating conjunction. This sentence has been corrected by adding 2 commas and a coordinating conjunction. The sentence now reads, "Driving home from school, Brett vowed to protect the ecosystem, yet all the while the tires of his Cadillac Escalade flattened the toads hopping on the wet streets." Using a semicolon. The process for a semicolon is again very similar to a period. The thoughts must be related. Our sentence now reads, "Driving home from school, Brett vowed to protect the fragile ecosystem. All the while, the tires of his Cadillac Escalade flattened the toads hopping on the wet streets." Including the semicolon and the comma create a proper sentence. Using a subordinate conjunction. In this sentence, the subordinate conjunction as was inserted into the sentence, which now reads, "Driving home from school, Brett vowed to protect the fragile ecosystem as the tires of his Cadillac Escalade flattened the toads hopping on the wet streets." Using as changes this sentence from a run-on to a properly structured sentence. So to review, there are 4 ways to fix fused run-on sentences and comma splices: period, semicolon, coordinating conjunction, and subordinate conjunctions. Comma splices often cause run-on sentences. Popular coordinating conjunctions include and, for, nor, but, so, and or. Common subordinate conjunctions are since, because, after, one, where, unless, as, and etc. If you keep all of these things in mind, you should be able to prevent comma splices and run-on or fused sentences. These are the sources that I used to create this tutorial. They have some of the best information available on comma splices and run-on sentences. And for further assistance with the writing process, you can contact us at the Vault website and chat live or submit a help request. You can also check out other existing tutorials on the site. If you prefer to email, you can email to ucvault@maine.edu. You can also check us out on Google+ and Twitter.